The US Army. What's your warrior?
Save money at the restaurants you love with Grubhub Perks. Use code LONDONCDL at checkout to get free delivery.
PlayStation 4, the official platform partner of the Call of Duty League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Call of Duty League London home series. It is day number 1, and we are working our way through the first round of action. I'm Landon Lando Sanders, alongside my new casting duo, Studdy. Of course, we can't forget the legend Nameless himself, but Stud, our first cast together. How you feeling, man?
I'm super excited, man, to be back with the Call of Duty League, you know, just casting Call of Duty at the highest level possible. Watching players that I've been playing against for such a long time still do it excites me still to this day, so I'm just happy to be back.
Absolutely, man. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Seeing you both together is kind of bringing back some memories. What the Studdy and Nameless duo was something special. We talked about what Evil Geniuses, Luminosity before that, Envy. Oh, boys, we got to look at this, man. Nameless, does this picture bring back some memories?
Man. Oh, sheesh, dude. You guys are doing me dirty on broadcast today. Oh my. You know what? Yeah, it brings back some good memories. This is the tournament where we should have won it, honestly.
Yeah,
some unfortunate circumstances and, you know, picks and bans, but it was a great time always playing with Jay. We've performed very well over the years together, and we've teamed, you know, multiple years, so we have a good rapport, and I'm glad to have you back, man. Both of you guys. This is going to be amazing, and I'm excited for you guys in your first cast.
Appreciate it, Nameless. That's for sure, man. Well, one of those guys, in the picture was Saints, of course, from the LA Guerrillas, and it's kind of fair to say, based on what we've been seeing recently, Nameless, is the Subliners and how much of a run that they have been on these past few months. I mean, what can you rather kind of talk on when it comes down to the Subliners as of late?
I mean, the Subliners as of late, they've been lights out. That was the best Sunday I think any team has put on so far this entire year. They dominated from start to finish. They beat some of the best teams in the game, and they made them look like bots, let's be honest. Every single player on the team was incredible, right? Like, when you're looking at this new meta, you're looking at, you know, that other AR to step up, and, you know, Temp, Accuracy, Mac, they all fried with ARs, and then Zuma, even as an MP5, was an outstanding player. So, across the board, they were great, man. I can't say anything bad about them. That was a great performance.
Definitely. Well, let's go and get into our game fuel keys to victory for this series. We'll start things off first with the New York Subliners, as we've been kind of talking about, and the way that they have looked has been absolutely electric. Of course, the defending champions coming into this, but in general, kind of Nameless, I want to walk through the game fuel keys to victory first for the Subliners. Talk us through it.
Continue the well-rounded team effort across all game modes. That was the biggest thing with the Subliners, was every single player was doing their job and performing and honestly exceeding expectations, right? Like, Accuracy and Temp exceeded the expectation for their roles, and it made the game easy for them, right? Like, that's how they dominated that day. I expect them to continue. With the momentum and that guaranteed top 8 spot, that confidence should even put them on another level, right? Yeah. So I expect them to continue that.
Definitely. And I know we've been talking a lot about the New York Subliners. Obviously, like we talked about, they're the defending champions. They're a team that has been on the come up as of late, but we also do have to talk about the Guerrillas. Obviously, like we said, it's kind of a, in some ways, David versus Goliath battle, but it could be an interesting one. Nameless, what about LAG here?
I mean, Vivid had a .7 KD. He went negative 52 overall in New York. I mean, he's got to step up and help them out, but it's really the whole team. When you think back to their last big win, it was versus the Huntsmen. They won in a Game 5, and then they went against FaZe, and they lost in a Game 5. So they have the potential, but will they put it together, right? It seems like they've lost the momentum that they had, so start off strong.
Definitely. Well, it definitely could be an interesting one, given the maps, which we'll kind of get into here in just a little bit, but I want to kind of hop into predictions. Like we said, for LAG versus New York. Studdy, we'll start with you. Thoughts on this one, man?
I'm thinking this is going to go 3-1 in favor of the Subliners. You know, watching them last week, they were just so dominant in those respawn game modes. For LAG, they had that S&D that's always been like their backbone. But like I said, they're just not able to keep up with the top teams when it comes to the slaying department in these respawns, such as Hardpoint and Domination. So I'm definitely going to choose Subliners 3-1.
Nameless?
I'm echoing what Studdy said. I'm choosing Subliners 3-1. Guerrillas have tested some very good teams. They went to Game 5 versus some very good teams. I think they steal one map here in this series, one of the respawns, but I think Subliners take it overall.
Now, as much as I would like to be different, as much as I'd love to play devil's advocate and, you know, try to bring up something different, try to go crazy, I'm with you guys. I think this is going to be a 3-1. Again, I like what we've been seeing at times from LAG. There have been kind of moments of brilliance, but I don't know, man. I feel like that last result that we saw from LAG LAG, the 3-0 loss to Paris just kind of hurt, and I'm a little bit nervous for them kind of coming into this kind of tournament, this particular matchup in general. But of course, those were our Xperia by Sony predictions. Like I said, guys, interested to see what we can kind of witness here from LAG. I feel like the ball is kind of in their court to perform. But I don't know, man. It's going to be difficult. But Nameless, I think we're getting ready to hop into our first matchup. We appreciate you for joining us, and let's do it again sometime, all right?
Thank you, guys. Enjoy. Have a great time. It's going to be a wonderful cast, guys.
Thanks,
Have
buddy.
fun.
Appreciate it, Nameless. That's for sure, man. Well, Stud, hey, man. It's time. Our first cast together. We're starting things off on some good old Gun Runner. We got the defending champions, the sub facing off against LAG. I know I asked you how you were feeling earlier, but how's the emotions feeling right now, man? This is going to be fun.
Oh, it's definitely going to be fun. You know, I'm a little jittery. You know, it is my first game back, and I really don't want to mess up, but there's no way I'm going to mess up just because I love Call of Duty so much. I'm just going to have fun in what I'm doing, just casting Call of Duty like I've always done. Playing it, doing it, doesn't matter. Call of Duty is Call of Duty, and I just can't wait to get into this.
100%, man. Right, it's the lifeblood, right? You've been a professional player. You've been an analyst. You've been pretty much everything in the book that you can possibly do, and I'm excited to see. Like I said, we were kind of going over a few tests kind of coming into today, and your knowledge just was absolutely blowing my mind. I would ask you a question, and you would just instantly know, boom, the answer to everything. And I guess I will kind of say for you coming into this one, Stud, in general, give me the answer to this question: can LAG? Can they walk away with this game with Hardpoint? And if they can, how can they do it?
Well, if LAG can do this, first off, they started off 2-9 on this map overall in the CDL. On the opposite side, you have the Subliners who are 10-5. So in favor right there, I'm just gonna go Subliners just from a consistency standpoint. Now, if you're LAG, it's all about the slaying department for me. You have players like Saints, players like Aqua, who basically last week sitting at a 0.9.
Yep.
If you have your main Slayer in Saints able to put up those big numbers that he's used to doing, then they should be able to keep up in these slaying departments in these respawns.
You like to think so, right? Especially, and I know we kind of talked on in the game field keys to victory. Nameless was bringing it up. Vivid. I think he's for me kind of one player that I'm looking out for when we look at this series. I feel like he's kind of been the all-star for LAG at different moments. I know a lot of that kind of prowess has been in the search and destroy, but I think when it comes into respawns as well, he can be insanely lethal. And I think if LAG really want a good chance of walking away with a few of these respawns, which is going to be the major conversation, especially for this first hardpoint, I think you're looking at someone like Vivid to kind of really be a difference maker.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Nameless said earlier in the keys to victory, 0.7, -52 is not something that you want out of one of your main sub players, Slayers in the game. So definitely he needs to improve his gameplay. Just not even worry about the previous weekend and just coming here with a fresh mind. You're basically the last team in the league currently, so all you have to do is just look forward and try to get some wins. Just try to build that team chemistry together and just put it all together to try to knock out, get some more points to move up in seeding.
Absolutely. Well, it looks as if right now NY in a pretty good position as they're going to be taking down the last 10 seconds of munition as the rotation is now set in stone, but a good start for NY. And I guess you could say if you are LAG in this moment, the big focus is to try to get some crucial points here as Attach is making his way up through the forest side, takes down 2, and that's 1 lane clear now for the Subliners.
Yeah, it's perfect. Attach on this left side, he's going to have to play his life here on these rocks. His whole opposite team is just going to decide to flood through the front, just forcing LAG to just come out the backside of their spawn and try to pick up on this hill. But as I say that, Mac with the kill, traded with Vivid picking up on 10th. They still have full hill control. They're going to have to start thinking about that next rotation towards P4 as well as the time is ticking down.
Definitely looks as if NY just kind of breaks on in, no problem at all, as Zuma getting up in the face of the opposition. I know we've kind of talked on a lot of the subliner players, but tell you what, man, Zuma absolutely dominant at the New York home series. There was a lot of debate in terms of who was kind of your personal MVP, and Zuma, deservedly so, was one of those names kind of brought up in terms of the subliner list. And I can tell you what, in Search and Destroy, when it came down to respawns as well, he was absolutely fantastic. And I think if we can see him replicate another performance like that, I think the Subliners are going to be in a great spot, Stud.
Yeah, definitely. Watching him and Abizi last week with all the stuff that was going on with the MP5, they were still able to put up insane numbers in these respawn game modes. So if he's able to keep up that pace, for sure I see Subliners just running the hard points, running the dominations the way they used to. They're currently sitting basically up 70 points right now. They're looking really good off the start of the rip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're in a pretty good position right now, and it's going to be up to Decimate to do some damage, hopefully up close. Unfortunately, the nade will come from the skies and make him have to end his life a little bit early, but if you are LAG, right, it's going to be kind of about that next rotation along with kind of the fade back from Cargo. And speaking of Cargo, through the containers we go as Vivid on a nice flank takes down what'll be now 2 in a row, tossing out the nade for good measure. But that's a nice little spread that LAG get ahead of P5.
Oh yeah, it was a beautiful spread right there. You saw Blatz winning a huge one-on-one against, I think, Zuma in the pipes area to play for those spawns. So currently they're just going to give up the final remaining amount of this time here. Saints are just going to try to slay out on these top crates. As I say that, they're going to have the rotation towards the next hill. They're down 60 points. If they can get a good hold here, they'll be able to fight themselves back into this game.
Definitely. It's going to be, what, up to LAG in this moment to try to hold off the rush, hold off the amount of players that are trying to break on in is New York, and it looks as if they're getting cut down left and right, really only attached to kind of have somewhat of a positive moment there toward the end, and unfortunately he fell before that particular nade kill even was effective, but nonetheless, LAG looking to hold things down. Decimate up close, unfortunately gets dropped, and just like that, the Subliners walk through the door, and they take control.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pinch on the side of Subliners. They had a player going through the left side, Turbine side, and everybody else flooding that right side, Train side. They were able to pick up 3 kills, forcing LAG to spawn out behind them at that P4 area, and eventually picking up the rest of this time to open up that lead a little more going into the second rotation.
And I love what we already see New York doing. Granted, accuracy reveals his position, and he will get caught out, but I like that move for the Subliners. They try to make their way through cold, try to kind of have somewhat of a future rotation set up for P2. Unfortunately, it does get foiled, but that is a sweat off the brow situation if you're LAG right there, right? You lose the P5 rotation, you're feeling pretty good about it, and then all of a sudden it gets pretty much whipped right out from underneath you, as we'll be seeing the Subliners in a pretty good position right now. The M4s have definitely been hot for them as of late, and like we said, a few different players to kind of look out for. We've been talking about a number of them, but I'll tell you what, Mac, a guy that I was very, very impressed with at the last event, and I actually got a chance, Study, to talk with Zuma kind of after the New York home series, and he had told me that the decision just kind of came down to comfortability. Attach was kind of cool with the SMG. Mac kind of stepped forward and said, hey, I'll run the M4, and I think, what was it, a 1.22 KD overall? I think he definitely did his role pretty well.
Oh, definitely. You know, him, Temp, and accuracy with that triple AR setup. Temp was doing unbelievable things with that M4. Mac is just the guy that can do it both sides. He has the MP5, has that M4 in his hand. He's just absolutely dominant. He has that young fire in him that he wants to be the best, and he's definitely showing it. And as we say that, man, the Subliners just did perfect right there. They were able to pick up at least 30 seconds on that middle hard point and flip the spawns going into P2. Now they're just opening this game wide open, almost building an 100-point lead. The LA Guerrillas need to answer, and they need to answer fast.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit scary for LAG. They definitely want to try and dip their toes inside the hill as often as possible, as a few players dropping in the front, Vivid pretty much toward the backside, as he'll get met with a tactical before he can even walk through the door. And now if you're LAG, 25 seconds left, Stud, it's kind of a matter of like, do we want to try to push this? Should we just try to go for the rotation? It looks as if they're kind of waving the white flag right now, but as I say that, Saints runs through the front door. Mac is there for the trade. Another hill, another rotation, and more points for the Subliners.
They're basically opening up a 110-point lead. I think it's going to be really difficult to come back in this game at this point. Such a small map like Gunrunner. If you're not winning your gunfights, you see attached in there 22 and 16 currently. Just top slaying for his team, putting on an absolute show. On the side of LA Guerrillas, you just need to get a good hold, man. You guys had the spawns there. Fortunately, a couple gunfights didn't go your way. Spawns go out, and eventually you just weren't able to break it in time. Now you're basically just trying to rotate, trying to pick up all this extra time that you can get off the rotations. And as I say that, 3 go down for the Guerrillas. Subliners are right back in the hill.
I mean, just really New York. They're doing whatever they want to around the map. I mean, LAG, they're trying to shut the door, but it's just not happening. Subliners continually are opening things up. They're breaking inside of hills, and this lead is starting to get even more scary as Mac trying to lead the way, tossing out trophies, trying to set up shop. And right now for LAG, it's just a matter of doing anything you can. What, less than 30 points away, and Mac is having a heyday right now. 6 streak, absolutely taking over for the later stages of this game, and that is just another negative on the plate right now for LAG, as Aqua literally just took out his teammate Decimate.
Yeah, that's basic. I think it's basically game. You know, the entire time the Subliners were sitting on that rock side, just trapping them in that back warehouse, just not giving them any breathing room from them coming out of that spawn, trying to hit a rotation. 244 to 112. LA Guerrillas need an absolute miracle here if they're going to try to bring this back. But as I said, I just don't see it happening. Max sitting at 25 and 17. Accuracy 23 and 18. They're just slaying in the slaying department, and there's just no one on the side of Guerrillas that's just going to be able to keep up with them.
You know, to be honest with you, Stud, I was kind of coming into this map, I was a little bit optimistic. I was like, you know what, LAG, they have the chance, they have the ability to maybe make something happen as this one will come to a close. A solid win for the Subliners. But, I mean, what? Our conversation's coming into this where LAG, they can stand a chance, but the big thing is going to be Game 1 hardpoint, right? You got to beat the team that is so good in hardpoint, the roster that has looked so solid on it. You get a victory in the Game 1, and then you kind of open up the floodgates a little bit. Unfortunately, in this situation, that is not going to take place. Kind of going to what we expected. The Subliners, they win this one, and they win it in a very dominant fashion.
Yeah, man, we're just talking about the slaying department. You see Saints 18 and 23. He's one of your main subs. Vivid obviously stepped up a little bit, 25 and 24. But overall, man, the rotations on the side of the Subliners are just perfect. When they wanted to break it, Attach was walking in, popping a 2-piece. They were just picking up a lot of points on that P1 hill as well. That was just forcing LA Guerrillas to try to make it frantic in that middle of the map. And unfortunately, they ended up giving up spawns, and the lead just got so much bigger as the game went on.
And, you know, to be honest, like, I was kind of looking through the stats from LAG. No one really in general just getting, you know, destroyed, for example. But just, I mean, really kind of based off the score of the Subliners, like we talked about, they just kind of broke in whenever they wanted to. They were kind of having their way from time to time. It was just overall very solid play coming through from New York early, as we're going to get ready to pop up our U.S. Air Force quick scope for this. But still, we talk about LAG, Stud. The big emphasis for them is points, right? You want to try to make your way up the standings as much as you can. It is so influential when we talk about this series. We talk about future ones. LAG, not a whole lot of time here, Stud. I mean, what? We're starting to come on playoffs and champs here soon.
Yeah, man, you're basically the last team in the entire CDL. And you need to eventually figure something out if you guys want to work on getting points. And obviously going up against the Subliners, the most recent champions of their own home series, you know, it's a pretty hard task to climb there. Subliners just not missing a beat there, just coming out the same way they left off. 9-0 last week, 1-0 so far today. They're looking pretty solid so far.
Yeah, and then we kind of take a look at the maps and modes for this one as well. Obviously, Gunrunner goes the way of Subliners. When we talk about St. Petro, we talk about Gunrunner. Those are kind of the main focuses for me for LAG. It's going to have to come through the search and destroys. Obviously, the emphasis has to kind of be put on St. Petro. Stud, kind of your thoughts on LAG specifically on a map like that?
Well, on St. Petro, they are currently 0-4, and then they're going up against the Subliners, who are 5-1 on this map. So I'm going to put my favorite into the Subliners. They just look like they have a lot more consistency across the board, obviously having a positive record. If you're the Guerrillas, this needs to be a map that you're going to be able to bounce back on, because if you guys basically don't lose this, I'm pretty sure they're 3-17 in domination in total. So going into that game mode, they're definitely not going to be confident. This needs to be their bounce back game.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary too, because, I mean, we put a lot of emphasis on that game 1 for a reason. I feel like we didn't really get a ton of time to talk about it just because of how fast the map really went. But and shout out to our stats team. I want to say that LAG were actually 1-5 in their last 6 Gunrunner hardpoints, so it was never going to be an easy task. And then now you kind of look at the search and destroy, and your thought is, okay, well, maybe there's some light here, maybe there's some real potential, and at least based off the record, based as of late, I really don't know what to feel about LAG right now. I mean, a roster that has had a lot of potential at different times. We talked about their ability just a few weeks ago. I feel like, they were going Game 5 with Atlanta and then Chicago, and then we see them last week where they kind of fall flat, 1-6 map count. These guys have kind of been all over the place as of late.
Yeah, man. If you're leaving last week, you basically lose 2 series so fast, and you lost to Paris 3-0, which you, quote-unquote, were probably worse than them, to me at least. And then once you lose that series in a 3-0, it's just like, all right, guys, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to write new stuff up. We need new strats or something, because obviously nothing is working for us, and there's not that much time to make any more changes going into champs and playoffs. Hopefully they can decide to put something together here pretty soon so they can start competing with these top teams.
Now, I know when we talk about like player cams and whatnot, we can't really always see the communication kind of going forward, but you know, from LAG, it kind of looks a little bit quiet. I mean, I feel like at this moment, you definitely want to have someone kind of stepping up, someone kind of giving some positives here when we talk about St. Petro. It's going to be an interesting one, but LAG, your work is cut out for you. We know how talented of a search and destroy roster that you are, but you're going to have to do it in a pretty solid fashion. You know, despite the Subliners kind of talks on S&D and the way that they've looked last week, or kind of in their own home series, they looked fantastic on it. I believe they won their last 4 search and destroys in a row to go along with what was like, I think, what, 9-0 in terms of map count to close out the tournament. This will not be an easy one, but LAG, now is your chance. This is your opportunity to hopefully at least see a game number 4. But we're kicking things off with the Subliners on offense.
The one battle that I'm really looking forward to is going to be Blatz versus Attach with that sniper. I know Blatz, I've teamed with him, and he's an unbelievable search and destroy player. That's where he originally came from. I need him to be that X factor, and as I say that, Vivid has a sniper rifle, so I'm guessing it's going to be Vivid versus Attach. But overall, I'm just looking at Blatz to be that leader, especially in search and destroy. You need to be able to bounce back in this map if you want to make this a series, and I'm feeling like he needs to be that X factor to start it all off.
Nice stuff from Vivid. Instant headshot there on to Accuracy, giving a non-needed haircut. Accuracy, a lovely flowing hair every time that we get to see him on the player cams. Regardless, though, Attach on the other end. Unfortunately, they lose one of their men on the offense. And it looks as if it will be kind of that mid-track route, as pretty much Bomb Man leading the way. Decimate going to get that call out ahead, and Temp with the red dot, M4 up close, able to walk away with the gunfight. 20 seconds left, and LAG, the resources are starting to become more and more scarce, and it looks as if it will be Decimate now left in a 1 versus 4. Enemy knows exactly where he is. Back cuts him down. NY, first one through.
I love that play out of the Subliners. Decided to just go right up middle map, hit through those archways. Decimate was laying at the back trains, trying to put himself in a great angle to where he can at least pick up a kill or two, but unfortunately he was laying a little too far to his left. Both players just went immediately into the arch, got the trade on Blatz. Mac picked it up the second, then it turned into a 1v4. It was great execution out of the Subliners.
Definitely good stuff coming through from NY early. Of course, we'll now get to see what LAG can do on their offenses. Looks as if Vivid's going to go and put the sniper to bed, which could or could not be a good thing, to be honest with you, as he'll have to dodge a few shots coming through from Attach, just like we talked about the lethal sniper himself. The smoke is through, and Vivid, no one can see him. No one can see him, and Temp's going to get taken down. Good work early when it comes down to utility from the Guerrillas, as that bomb is being made, or rather kind of being babysitted up through Waterside. Vivid comes through with another elimination, and now that's instantly New York put on the back foot.
Vivid, that was an unbelievable play, running directly right up middle map, smoking out this second story right here, popping his dead silence, jumping through that window, just catching Accuracy off guard, top window, picking up all this map control. Now they're currently in a 3v3 situation. Bomb's looking like it's going to be rotating back towards this A site, but they're going to be running into Mac. If Mac is going to be sitting in this top window, his communication, he should be able to spot both of these players. Probably take one down. As I say that, Zuma's going to be there to help him. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The Guerrillas need to plant this bomb. They need to plant it fast.
It looks as if LAG, they're just trying to juggle where to go and Attach. That's 2. Can he find the 3rd? Aqua just escaping around the corner, wondering what just happened to my teammates. Finds the first one, but cannot find the second. What looked like a great situation for LAG then turns into their own demise. The rotation was inbound, but like we talked on it, Attach, the sniper from range, the pistol from range as well, cuts down the late possible round heroics from the Guerrillas.
You could just tell right there, the Guerrillas rotated back towards A. They saw Mac top window. They're like, nuh-uh, not going to put ourselves in that situation. They decide to run up middle map, but unfortunately they run into Attach, who's one of the best snipers of all time, who's able to pick up an insane 2-piece. Fortunately, his teammate gets traded, but he picks up the 3rd with his pistol. Beautiful plays out of Attach. It just looked like a Guerrilla was wasting too much time there on their rotations, and they didn't really figure out what they wanted to do.
Dylan Price, my goodness, he's got to stop it. He needs to calm down. Blast. Finding a few. Zuma, though, the man pretty much roaming around the boxes. Another one up close. I want to say his gun barrel pretty much bounced off the truck there. And Accuracy on bomb will be taken down. Kind of a pretty interesting little bit of chaos that we have going on there on the bomb site, but it will be LAG who walks away with it, and Aqua here for the final kill.
That play literally comes down to Blatz getting that 2-piece at that box area with that M4. He was able to just play his life perfectly. Unfortunately, his teammate went down. He was able to pick up a trade and pick up one before he went down. Beautiful plays out of him. Eventually turned into a 1v1. Aqua played that absolutely perfect. There was nothing else he could really do. Accuracy knew he had to plant that bomb towards the A bomb. Aqua got the perfect timing, was able to get him off bomb. Good bounce back round out of Guerrillas.
Study kind of sounds like you've done this before, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You just got all the knowledge. I'll tell you what. This is fantastic.
Oh, let me tell you.
Take me to COD school, stud. Why
Search
not?
and Destroy has been my specialty, man, for years. I love this game mode. So.
That is true, man. That is true. Number of different fantastic moments. And speaking of moments, Mac, a near opportunity knocking at the door. Decides to fade back and attach. A wonderful opportunity for him as multiple players running into the line site. Kind of an awkward spot for LAG. Vivid says, all right, gotta go through the window. There's one, there's two. Somewhat positive for the Guerrillas at the moment.
Here comes Zuma. Here comes
Zuma on the flank.
Oh.
Vivid shuts him down. Another collection of kills coming through from this man. Can he find the one on attach? He does. Lovely work from Vivid as now Accuracy, last man alive. He gets dropped as well. And LAG, they level the score.
I loved how aggressive they decided to play towards that A bomb. You saw Vivid immediately jump towards that bottom box where he's able to jump into that second story, into that building by the A bomb. He was able to jump up there, pick up 3 kills. Aqua obviously holding that late flank, but that was just great pressure, man. They had multiple people shooting at these guys that were sitting at top window. Unfortunately, Attach was able to get a hit marker on the boxes. That doesn't really help anything, and it forced him to rotate back to the top window. Vivid was able to pick up 3. Beautiful round out of Guerrillas.
Indeed, LAG. Looking solid, like we kind of expected them to. Granted, haven't won on this map specifically, but we know how solid they can be in this particular game on a lot of guys who are incredibly familiar with it. And Decimate, he's just having a quick little snack right now. No worries. Hey, just the middle of a search and destroy round. No big deal. Although he's a little bit far away from the chair. Regardless, Temp, first blood. That's instantly going to make LAG aware of the possible positioning. Decimate tries to come through. Success, unfortunately, does get traded out from Temp as Subliners look to be on the route toward B.
I love what they're doing right now. You have Attach who's basically watching that entire cross out of that A bomb if they decide to push out and try to help their teammates going back to B. As I say that, Attach is still going to be deciding to go to this top sign, just holding that cross. No more smoke grenades are going to be able to hold them in. Temp should have a free bomb plant towards the B site, but they need to keep track of Aqua because Aqua is going to be sitting bottom cafe right now. He's probably going to be able to make a play here. He's going to be able to take down Zuma, force it into a 3v3 situation, and Temp is going to decide to go for that bomb plant now.
Does indeed. Accuracy holding the cross. The smoke is out, and Saints realizes he has to try to go for the kill, and somehow Accuracy stays alive. The collection of kills at the end for the Subliners. As we'll get to watch this one again. So Accuracy is the one who tosses out the utility. It's the stun that stops Saints from instantly checking his left. Wonderful awareness coming through from Accuracy as he will stay alive and now give New York the advantage.
I love the crossfire there. Accuracy was able to pick up that first kill, but immediately, as that opposite player from the Guerrillas was trying to go for that trade, Attach, sitting at that top sign, was able to put down that sniper kill and immediately turn it into a 3v1. Beautiful tactical right there out of Accuracy to stun Saints and get that kill easy. But that was just something that me and Nameless used to do back in the day all the time. I should just snipe over him, and he should just run. And that was beautifully played out of the Subliners.
Tell you what, like I said, that duo, I didn't get enough time to talk about it. That duo, that was the brotherhood right there, man. I tell you what, love kind of hearing you guys discuss things, talk about the old days, and how you guys used to dominate because you did. Search and destroy, always one of your strong suits, but it looks as if right now LAG in a pretty interesting spot as Saints from long range actually manages to find the kill, which is going to open up that B site. And if you're Temp, well, birthday was last week. Let's see if he can come through with a little bit of a surprise for us now. One player toward the flank, one player toward the front. LAG shuts him down, and they leveled things up.
I love how they're keeping this close 3-3, but if I'm Guerrillas, you need to be able to open this map up, probably win this next round as well. It's looking like both teams are just winning their offenses. On the Guerrillas, it's looking a lot more consistent. They're looking like they're playing a lot more together. You see Vivid just keeping up his pace, trying to get into their faces, picking up a couple first bloods here and there. I just want them to open up this map so they can start getting a lot more confidence going into these next couple of maps, hopefully tying the series 1-1. But you still have Blatz sitting at 3-5, Decimate at 3-5. Like I said, Vivid stepping up, 8-4, double positive. I like how this game is just being at a certain pace. They're not really rushing anything. They're taking their time. And just like that, Vivid with another first blood.
Vivid, man, I'll tell you what, M4 doesn't matter. He's creating chaos up close. Dead silence now initiated, but not for long, as Temp will have the final lap for now. But will it be the round is the question. Temp up close. Has to have some bit of information there with that door opening, but Hazmat seems to be the focus. And he also does have a smoke, obviously rocking the dead silence just to make sure that he can be in a good position in terms of his teammate, rather. But up close, rather far from range, is Aqua trying to pepper him up, but Temp is still alive, still hanging out. His teammates have fallen, and now it is all on to Donnie Temp to hopefully stay alive. A 1 versus 4, and much like normal 1 versus 4s go, Stud, he gets taken down.
Vivid once again with another first blood and a big 2-piece to open up that round. Eventually, as the round continued to go on, we see Blacks, who's usually that A player for the Guerrillas, decided to push through A because he knows where Attach is going to be playing, and he hasn't changed up his spot yet. Always playing to that top sign. He decides to pop his dead silence, come up behind the flank, takes out all the sights that Attach had watching that entire cross from the A side, turned it into a 4v2. Eventually, trades come in. Beautiful round out of Guerrillas.
We talk about sniper study. Obviously, you were, what, one of the best snipers, I think it's fair to say, in Call of Duty esports history.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and you deserve to have that title, man. Who are some of your favorite snipers in the CDL?
My favorite snipers right now, it's got to be the people that just put on a show, man. Simp is definitely one of my favorites. What he's able to do with the sniper and what he's able to do with the pistol is just unbelievable. You also have players like Formal who just always go for the insane shots and always tend to hit them. Yeah. So when I used to have battles against Formal, they were always just some of the best times of my life. But like now watching all these young guns just using these snipers and just the way that they're using them now, because before when I was a sniper, it was just all about consistency, just putting yourself in a position where you can give your teammates as much information as you possibly can. But now these guys are just walking around 3 pieces left and right, pulling out the pistol. Doesn't matter. It's a whole different generation now, Lando.
It is, man. It is, and I'm excited to see a few more players who are going to be kind of making, you know, kind of showing out for the new generation. And what we got, LAG coming up just, or rather, excuse me, OpTic, OGLA, right after this one. But excited to see their new players kind of coming out in terms of, like I said, that new generation conversation. But hey, get back into the search and destroy. We talked about snipers. We talked about the emphasis on it. It clearly was a major impact last round. So we'll now get to revisit what NY is up to when we, in terms of this one. But Pacific continually is that B hit. Vivid, somewhat aware, decides to reference back.
Yeah, I like that he's deciding to change his pace up here. He understands that he was playing that middle map really aggressive, picking up 2 pieces here and there, but now you're going into the later rounds. You want to make sure you don't give up your first blood for your team, put you guys in a disadvantage here, and it's looking like they're going to just force the subliners to try to push up basically all the way to their spawn, where this B bomb is, and just gun them or just eventually try to make a play.
LAG not trying to give him an inch. And like we said, the pace from Vivid absolutely slowed down. And why they're looking at every single corner they can, making their way through Archway, and Vivid isn't able to get the kill, but at least throws out the call out. Utility is there, and so NY, the approach is known. Decimate from the top of the stairs actually has Vivid just alongside him. Can he find the kill? Zuma is there for the assistance, and now they've got 2 players up close. Decimate can't find that one either. There goes Saints, and now we're down to a 3 versus 2. Mac has the bomb and only 10 seconds remain, and NY, they get the job done up close. It does not matter as the Subliners now sit on 5 rounds.
They are literally just taking control of that mid-map and just calling a play on what they want to do. Time was ticking. The players all at A thought that everything was going to be covered. They decided to double push to that back door side. Decimate was able to take down 1, but it was a beautiful bait and switch out of Zuma and Accuracy, playing that bottom doorway. Zuma laying down, Accuracy looking right over him to pick up that kill. And then eventually the other 2 players in A didn't really expect it to go down like that, so they were caught with their pants down there. As you see that Attached with another first blood with his sniper. 10 and 6, setting the tone for the Subliners. That was such a huge round. There was basically only 15 seconds left, but they were able to pick up every single kill that they needed to win that round, to close it out, to go up 5-4.
And a Star Blast, I mean, just having issues trying to get up on that top position as Matt cleans him up. And before we can even really start to highlight this round, the game is done. 6 rounds to 4 as the Subliners continue on that pressure. And so what we were thinking could be LAG's playground, granted kind of the history of it. It's not by any means a, it's by no means a great map for LAG, but you like the game mode. They can't get it done. Attach finishes off with 10 alongside accuracy as well. The long-time duo getting the work done, and now LAG, it's got to be a world of trouble right now here, Steady.
Yeah, going down 0-2 is definitely not what they wanted to look at. They're going into their worst game mode out of the entire series, which is domination, 3-17. They're going to be playing against Hackney Yard, and we've seen the Subliners absolutely dominate that in the last weekend in their own home series. You saw Temp with that M4 picking up 2 pieces left and right in that B flag. You've seen Zuma and Attach just going constantly back and forth from home flags, man. I just don't see a way that the Guerrillas are going to be able to bounce back in this series going into this domination.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but let's go and kind of reflect back a little bit when we talk about different plays with our U.S. Army tactical play. This one coming through from Attach, and recently studied the conversation when we talk about NY. A lot of this has kind of been on this guy Attach, right? He and Zuma together have been absolutely electric. Their ability to kind of play alongside each other has been a very interesting thing to see. And again, Attach picking up some kills here. Very, very impressive out of him. That sniper has been electric. Really kind of coming in from New York and now here into London.
Hey, man, like I said, Attach played this absolutely beautifully. His teammates are sitting at that top window into that A flag, which was Mac. Attach just playing that middle cutoff to make sure they don't rotate back towards that B bomb. Was able to just cut them both off with that sniper. Jump shot at the next guy. Teammate went down, but he picked up the third with a pistol. That's what he's done, man. Him and Zuma have been a duo for God knows how long, and they just continue to stride and continue to be the best players that they could possibly be.
Yeah, like I said, NY, a great spot, continuing on with their kind of late tournament heroics when it came down to the New York home series, as well as advancing here in London. But Study, one of my favorite pieces of content we do here at the CDL is in fact the Barracks, presented by Metro by T-Mobile. The golden voice himself, TP, this time around has got Attach of the New York Subliners. Let's go ahead and check it out.
First, who's the 3 people that you're picking for your Warzone team?
Donnie Temp, for sure.
Okay.
I think I would have to get Dashy.
Dashy? Okay.
And one more. I think I'll pick Scum. I think Seth.
Okay.
You'd be my #1 pick, though, if I could pick someone outside of the CDL.
Honestly,
right
I was trying to bait you into picking me. Like, come on, man. Like,
you would definitely be my #1 overall, but we had to keep it like inside the CDL.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Tifa here, bringing you the next episode of The Barracks, presented by Metro by T-Mobile, the #1 brand in prepaid. In this episode, we are going one-on-one with Attach from the New York Subliners. We connect with Mac, a new player on the roster, a big roster change made by them to improve the team. And we go into more detail about Attach's start in his career, how he sort of made his way up in the community, and eventually taking home the 2015 World Championship while he was still in high school. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Barracks.
of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day with the #1 brand in prepaid. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The United States Air Force. Learn more at airforce.com.
Friends, Christmas has come early for the Call of Duty League, and it's time to deck your loadouts out with some brand new champs, blueprints, gun charms, player signature stickers, spicy sprays, and calling cards. Check them out in the in-game store. Gear up like a pro for the Call of Duty League Championship 2020 pack. Study, I gotta ask you, man, first signature that you put on your gun, who was it?
It's got to be Octane. You know, when I'm running around with an M4, I'm putting all the best players that run an M4 stickers on my gun. So I have Octane, I have like Clayster, I have Crim 6, I have a bunch of those players. The same thing when it comes to the MP5. I have like Simp and I have a BZ and stuff like that. So I just love them. They're so cool.
100%, man. Now, I gotta ask you a question though. I love Justin Fargo. Are you gonna put at any point silly signature on your gun? Is that gonna happen?
Probably not. I probably won't put him and Wuskins on. You know, Wuskins W is probably bigger than the gun itself. So yeah, I'm definitely, you know, and we need to work on that a little bit, fellas. But overall, they're still pretty cool.
Hey, we talk about what, a number of different things to work on for, you know, a few different teams. Maybe penmanship, I don't know, possibly, who knows. But regardless, we have a fun one set up. It is time for some good old Hackney domination. Subliners currently finding themselves without question in the driver's seat. They win the search and destroy, the one that we maybe thought could go the way of LAG, however, not the case. And Study, we talked about this, man. I mean, literally, we were in the pregame talking about how it'd be crazy if we got to see New York play Hackney Dom. Why? Because it was the only map and domination they played at the New York home series, and they won it the last, what, 4 times they played it. They've been electric on this one as well. And if you're LAG, you've really got to hope that you can dig deep, because this is for sure a map that the Subliners feel good on.
Yeah, LAG are currently sitting at 2-9 on this map. Like I said, at 3-17 overall on all domination maps. But as you said, the Subliners went 4 for 4 in their home series, especially versus teams like Chicago, London, Toronto, and Chicago once again. So they have a lot of reps on this side. I'm just looking for the Guerrillas, especially starting off on good side. They're going to be able to open up a lead for them, and hopefully they can not to be able to flip them as much, and hopefully be able to bounce back in this map, man.
Yeah, we talked about it. Obviously, Subliners on the non-preferred side, at least for now. In fact, let's actually go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the Subliners.
One shot. One's in the mid, one's in the mid.
1B, go CT,
one. Yeah, he's top. On B. One shot on A, and A one shot. On B, Mac.
Back on B.
We're good.
We lost A,
Spawn
guys.
A, spawn green. One green, we can still get A, Fork.
Neutralizing C, they're spawning green. I'm
neutralizing
Fork.
Capcar Lamar. Top on Mag. Spawning P3, I think. Another one on me. Michael's top on. Fire car. One shot. Top on. Come on, green. One top out, guys.
Top C,
Yo, mid dead. There's gonna be another one on you from Fork.
You want Tommy dead?
We get A. Don't in the box.
Don't one shot their milk truck. Still
alive. What's gonna go for C, maybe?
Go B.
Go. Don't close on me somewhere.
He's on Walker.
Fork.
Looking right. Come on, close. We gotta go here.
I'll hit fork. Yo, I'll play B.
Tires.
Tires. Top B2. We gotta kill the guy. Top B2. We gotta
2v1 him.
I spawn C. I'm about to cap it.
I'm gonna help you with this guy. I'm the one thing right. I saw me green.
Green away, one shot.
B, one side, green, one side, one B, one more B, one at A, only one at A.
On the window. Front me. Top B2.
Bottom out. One's bottom out, guys. Bottom out.
Top B2. Yep. You still there.
You know, Subliners LAG, it doesn't really make a difference regardless. Study the comms there for the Guerrillas. I mean, just in general, I don't think necessarily we're bad, but you look at what was kind of going on in the map during that time. NY manages to break on a tire shop pretty easily. They've been controlling C at different moments. I mean, what? They're literally in the midst of getting a trip cap right now.
They hit that flip immediately as that listening went in. Zuma was making huge plays at that A site, and now it's looking like a 3-cap. They just immediately flipped that spawn on its head, and now they're just holding this 3-cap, building up such a powerful lead, going into their better side next side. If I'm Guerrillas, man, you need to answer, and you need to answer quick, or this game's gonna get out of control.
Yeah, and we talk about what I mean. LAG, when you have the preferred side, I'll ask you, Study. What's kind of what's a scoreline that you're comfortable with when you're on tire shop to start? Is it like what, 15, 20 around there?
Yeah, when you're around 15, 20 points, it's not really that drastic of a lead that you're able to go into good side and then eventually be able to fight back, holding that AB setup. But when you're down 20 points with 1:18 when you start off on good side, it's not really a good look. It's looking like the Subliners are going to be able to hold this setup probably for another minute. As I say, that Aqua and them have control of top L, but there are 3 players from the Subliners at this B flag. Zuma's gonna get taken down right there from that top L. Max in that top AC. Unfortunately, both of them go down. All left up to accuracy in here. Picking up pistol kills. Currently on a 5-kill spree. And as I say that, attaches at the C flag, going for that neutral. So the Guerrillas, they really need to be fighting for this B flag quick, or it's gonna get out of hand here soon, Lando.
Oh, it definitely is. It may or may not already be somewhat out of hand, but that's the 1v1 win from Attach on the Decimate. They've got control of C. They've got control of A. LAG, by no means in a position they'd like to replicate. Vivid just trying to do anything he can to just break out a spawn. Thankfully, they spawn over at C, but in the meantime, it's Temp picking up kill after kill as he'll be on a 5 streak. That one's probably getting extended a little bit farther. But nonetheless, as this half's going to come to a close, I mean, what? If roles reversed, cool. LAG, you know what? You're up. But it is the exact opposite. And Tim, he's still going, man. He's on a 7 spree. Does get taken down, but the damage has been done. New York, after the first half, the positives only continue to reign through.
Insane, man. They were able to flip that as soon as we went into that Astro listening, and that was unbelievable, man. It was just, they were able to open up themselves a 37-point lead going into good side. This is going to be really scary on the side of Guerrillas. They need to be able to flip these spawns right off the rip and eventually go for a couple neutrals, probably get a 3-cap here if they're going to be able to fight back into this game. I wonder what the slaying is looking like on the side for both teams, especially since the Subliners started off on bad side. Yeah. So I wouldn't expect a lot of them to be positive. And as I say that, we're talking about Temp. The guy was an absolute monster in his own home series, currently sitting at 15-8, doing what he does best, picking up the 2 pieces left and right, and they're just keeping their foot on the pedal here, Lando.
Yeah, and that's kind of the main focus, I think, for Subliners at this moment, right? It's kind of like park the bus. We don't really need to do anything drastic. I mean, as long as we kind of hold at times what kind of an A, B, or even CB at times, it's really kind of okay for them. So the big focus has to be on LAG as of this moment. I mean, like I said, you're kind of looking at score lines 9-15 from Vivid, Saints 4-9, and kind of when we looked back at the New York home series, kind of ahead of this particular series here, Stud, the big thing for me was LAG, 2 players who kind of underperformed a lot in the respawns was Vivid and it was Saints. They're currently -6 and -6. So I mean, just in general, things not really looking good for the guys that really needed to step up.
Yeah, they're sub players, especially in Saints. This is a player I've teamed with multiple times. He was the player that won me my first and only championship. So when I look at this guy, I just think it's an absolute monster.
Study.
Yeah. I think that Saints is just one of those top slayers. He's always been in my eyes. And when I see him put up numbers like this, I know this isn't him. I need him to step it up for his team. They need to have that leader role, someone to step up really and go big for them. And I need it to be Saints. Unfortunately, like you said, he's currently sitting at 4-10. It's not really looking too strong for the Guerrillas. Flags are going left and right. It's almost a 40-point lead here, Lando.
It absolutely is. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of flags, yellow, purple ones, but I might be seeing a white one here soon. LAG, pretty awkward position. They, granted, do kind of regain control over A. So the big emphasis that we kind of had coming into this second half was LAG. You need rather to kind of gain control early of Tire Shop. You managed to do that. Granted, it's kind of gone back and forth, but nonetheless, you have the preferred side. It's just a matter of getting enough damage in the meantime, and it looks as if, that's player number 7, Aqua, who's made the rotation. He's at least got the neutral, and they've got the cap. That's the AC split right now for LAG.
As soon as they were able to set up for that A-B setup, the Subliners just flooded into that B flag. We're able to secure that, and now turn it upside down. They rotate out, attach, pushes towards that A flag, wins his one-on-one. Now they have the same setup that they originally wanted. The lead is just growing, Lando, and if the Guerrillas don't bounce back here soon, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3-0.
That's the way it seems. And to be honest, I mean, well, coming into this series in particular, I was kind of, thinking to myself, hey, you know what, we could have, a really close series. Well, the other ones have been like 3-1s, 3-0s. I thought this one had the ability to kind of maybe go into the Game 5 despite my prediction, but it looks as if that's not the case. New York are showing us exactly why they are the defending home champions. But for now, LAG doing everything they can toward the later stages. Obviously, this game is starting to kind of get out of their hands, but if it's going to start, it's going to have to start now. Accuracy nearly snapping back onto 1. Does get taken down in the meantime. It is still NY with 2 flag captures, and Mac is causing havoc over at the Tire Shop. And as long as he stays here, it is going to be difficult. Thankfully, it does get cut down, but that is one of the many tasks that LAG still have on their radar, and they've only got under 1 minute and 30 to do it.
Yeah, LAG are going to need a miracle here. If you have a triple cap for a minute, you get 36 points. There's only 1.5 minutes left. You have a 2 cap, so eventually you need to be able to push forward that C flag and try to end up getting a triple cap. They're currently down 42 points. That's more than what they need if they're going to be able to hold this 2 cap, so they have to be aggressive towards it. As I say that, Vivid is going to decide to wrap back and put a smoke down. He needs to win a couple of these gunfights. First one's going to be Zuma. As I say that, Zuma's going to be able to take him down. Subliners realize that they only need to hold 1 more flag. I don't expect them to be so aggressive towards that B flag anymore. Just basically clamp your base, just holding the C flag, have somebody sitting at top garage, top yellow, even probably camping inside. But it's looking like they're just keeping up the pace. Attach is able to win his gunfight into B. Here goes the neutral. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. I'm pretty sure, Lando, it is over.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal as New York are going to run through the Guerrillas in a series that, obviously was predicted to go their way, but there were a few people, including, me, you, and Nameless. We thought this would be a 3-1. Not going to be the case. It's going to be a hot 3-0 for the Subliners, and that map streak, what was it? It was 9-0 map streak after the New York home series now advances to 12 in a row as the Subliners continue to streak forward. Fantastic stuff from them all series, and it looks as if they're still at that same gear they were the last time we saw them study.
Oh, they haven't missed a beat, man. They know that they are the champions. They are the team to beat in their eyes, and they want to be able to put on a show once again, get more points into the CDL, get a higher seeding going into playoffs and champs. And it's looking like they're just going to be able to do that, man. Subliners, I feel like it all went downhill for the Guerrillas when they lost that map too. Unfortunately, they decided to play Piccadilly. They were 0-4 on it. I mean, St. Petrograd, they were 0-4 on it. Currently now 0-5. But it was also, it went down basically to the wire. Just a couple plays that just didn't go in their favor. We saw the quick audible adjustments from the Subliners when they decided to run right up middle map, going into that A bomb, just flooding it out, playing together. As I say it again, Saints 12-19, not something that you want out of one of your main slayers, including Aqua as well. 14-25, one of your main ARs. You definitely need to be able to keep up in the slaying department if you're going to be the LA Guerrillas and try to bounce back and try to get a better seeding leading towards the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, NY, a great spot for the rest of their tournament lives, as we talked about. Like I said, a hot 3-0 that's going to be great for them, great for their confidence kind of moving forward. As you talked about it, kind of a few players from LAG, somewhat lagging behind. Like I said, Aqua 14-25. To be honest, I thought when the M4 meta was going to be kind of changing around a little bit, I thought Aqua was going to be kind of one of those guys who would thrive, right? Because we saw Blast kind of switch to the main AR. He went back to a sub, and I thought, hey, maybe there's an opportunity here where LAG really benefits from this. But again, they're facing off against a hard team. It's kind of hard to judge. But I mean, kind of based on the last time we saw them, they lose 3-0 to the Paris Legion. They end a drought that has been going for ages now when it comes down to it, and now another negative here. No map victory, no search and destroy win as well. LAG, it definitely could be better for them, to say the least, Study.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have a 1-9 map count in your last 3 matches, and that's just something you don't want to have going into the rest of the year. For the LA Guerrillas, you need to switch something up. There needs to be more consistency out of your main slayers. There's no reason why you guys should be going so negative when you're playing against the top competition. When they lose that search and destroy, the series is basically over. They go into a domination, which is their worst game mode possible. So if the LA Guerrillas are going to decide to try to like bring life, especially going into tomorrow, into that knockout match, they need to bring it quick and hopefully not play St. Petrograd. Like, that was their worst search and destroy, and they decided to put it in game 2. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, let's go and take a look at our scuff play of the game. It was the trip cap that we saw come through from the Subliners, and you were kind of calling it out, Study. I mean, it was early. We were in the comms with LAG at the time thinking, okay, this could be their opportunity. They're starting off on preferred side. Not even happening. Subliners came out early again on this domination and really just took over.
That was the opening, man. They were on the worst side. They were on the bad side first off. Then they end up, once we go into the listening, they immediately went for that flip. We're able to hold that 2 cap, eventually send off attach by himself to go towards that C flag, neutralize it, and then eventually play for the 3. Forces the LA Guerrillas to spawn all by green side. They were just able to pick up kill by kill by kill, and they were just able to hold them for a good amount of time so they can open up lead, especially going into that better side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in that situation, Subliners looking kind of, primed, ready to go, managed to walk away with the domination. I feel like that can be a really good one for them in terms of how things can kind of progress, right? I mean, we talk about different game modes to kind of look out for them when it comes down to it. I think domination can be that one mode where if they can continue to play well, hey, that could be kind of their future success could come from it. But I tell you what, man, look at this little lineup here. We got the Call of Duty Warzone weekend presented by Metro by T-Mobile. Super excited to watch this duos competition this Sunday, July 12th, as 60 pros battle for their share of $10,000. You guys can actually see who comes out on top. That'll be July 19th at 12 p.m. PST. That is 3 p.m. Eastern. I tell you what, man, Study, I absolutely love these Warzone weekends. It was Rambo Ray who managed to win 6K with what was it, with Big Bertha? It was lovely to see. But I love these Warzone weekends.
Oh yeah, I love Warzone. Warzone, I play it all the time. I literally bought an entire new PC just to play it more fluently. So I have a lot more fun since I made that switch to PC. But Warzone, just in general, man, is an unbelievable ad.
Absolutely, man. Well, like I said, NY, they do manage to get the hot 3-0 victory over LAG. Of course, our PlayStation Instant Reaction is coming up right after this, and we've got the man who we've talked about a lot. It's going to be Attach. Stay with us.